Good morning. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening to all viewers across the globe. I would like to appreciate the time that I was given by IIU, International Internship University, to be with you today so that we are discussing about cybercrime and cybersecurity. My name is Ambassador Dr. Patricia Gonde. I am from Zimbabwe. International Internship University is a leading virtual education system and global brand confederation, which is the most valuable and trusted worldwide and well-reputed in delivering innovative programs globally. It is a trusted name for quality training programs and is committed to providing better and virtual education to all the young learners of the globe. In a short span of time, International Internship University has spread its wings in 195 countries and in 6 continents under the strong leadership of its visionary founder, Mr. Piyush Pandit said. He is a committed and inspiring social activist and is a passionate educationist from the last 2 decades, providing education to students from various social and cultural backgrounds. Thank you so much, International Internship University, for taking education across the globe in almost all the countries. Now, cybercrime. What is cybercrime? We know that in this world we are living in a global world, and after COVID-19 struck, most of the people now are using the internet technology. And as the internet technology is advancing, so does the threat of cybercrime, because most people are now using internet from our schools, from all across the globe. Everyone is using the internet, everyone is on social media. So as this technology is advancing, so does the threat of cybercrime. And cybercrime has got its history way back. It started long back. So I'm going to take you through some of the cyber crimes that are committed by people. We have different types of cyber crimes that I'm going to discuss with you today. So what is cybercrime? Well, some people call it computer crime, and cybercrime is an illegal activity which is committed using the computer or internet, and it is that activity is prohibited by law. People use gadgets such as computers, mobile phones, tablets to commit this cybercrime. Some people call it the computer crime, some people call it high-tech crime, and some call it e-crime, electronic crime. And it can be committed against individuals. For example, cyber stalking, when you are talking about phishing, it can be committed to individuals. And some people, it can be committed to properties. For example, the card fraud, someone does phishing or someone steals a card and they use it. They use your details, your account details for fraudulent purposes. And then cybercrime can also happen to organization. For example, sometimes you receive some emails from people whom you don't know, and you click on those emails and people hack your website. Then It can also happen to organizations. It can also happen to the government itself through cyber terrorism. I'm going to take you through all these types of cybercrime. Then there are some categories for cybercrime. Cybercrime can be through use of the computer as the object of the crime. For example, if someone once is doing phishing, they use the computer. If someone is doing spamming, scamming, hacking, they use the computer as the object of committing cybercrime. Or the computer itself, it can be used as a weapon or as a tool to commit a crime. For example, through cyber stalking and pornography. So the computer can be used as an object of the crime, or it can be used to commit the crime itself. Now, what types of cybercrime am I going to look at? There are different types of cyber crimes, but I'm not going to look at most of them. There is cyberbullying, which is happening each and every day of our life. Some people call it cyber harassment, or some say online bullying. It happens even in our schools. It's happening each and every day. Then we have cyber terrorism, cyber stalking, phishing, hacking, malware, software piracy, denial of service, identity theft, software piracy, virus dissemination, spyware, spamming, data breach, cryptojacking, espionage. There are so many of them, and I'm going to touch on a few of these ones. Now, starting with cyberbullying. Cyberbullying happens each and every day of our lives, each and every second of our lives. And some people do not even notice that even in our schools, some of our children are being cyberbullied. And when we know that after COVID-19, yes, we are doing physical learning, but after COVID-19, most of our schools were doing online learning. And most of our schools have now adopted the use of the computer hybrid method. They're using both the computer and the physical method. And as our children do their projects each and every day, they go online. As they are using their cell phones, their mobile phones, they go online, whether on Instagram, whether they are on Facebook. So as cyberbullying happens, and if you do not notice it, some children have even ended up committing suicide because they are being bullied, being cyberbullied. And people send messages to you through the phone, through Microsoft learning systems, even on Teams. When I was on Teams, some children were now going behind, and they were also making their own groups and then sending messages to each other. And we were able to crack that and see. So there are so many effects of cyberbullying which you can tell whether someone is being cyberbullied. It can be an adult, it can be a child. So you can tell if someone is depressed, someone is isolated, someone is anger, or someone is just using, especially with children, they normally take their computer away and sit far away where you don't see them, because they want to see what's happening, or they want to hide what's happening to them, or they feel that maybe they are going to be on danger. So there's a lot that happens, and our children suffer inside. Some people cannot tell you. Some children are not so open. There's no open communication between the child and the parents. So they don't tell you what's happening, and you can tell by some signs and symptoms that happen to your child. Sometimes the sleeping patterns even change. So we have to check each and every time how our children are using their computer gadgets. And how do we protect our children from cyberbullying? I'm going to tackle the cybercrime and also give some security tips on use of safe use of the internet. So make sure that when your child is using their internet, They are somewhere where you can see them. Not that they shouldn't be hiding in the bedroom, because you don't know what's happening there in the bedroom. So where there's a lot of traffic, make sure that you can see your child using using the internet, and make sure that your children also educate them on using strong passwords, so that no one can hack into their system and cyberbully them. Ensure also that they don't share information with strangers whom they don't know. We know that there are some people who come and greet them there on whilst they're on the internet. Pop-ups come, what's your name? You're beautiful, and they start getting information. Make sure that they do not share that information. And whenever you make it a policy that you check sometimes even their social accounts and check what's happening, because that's where you can notice whether cyberbullying is taking place. And then you should always tell them that they should always report cyberbullies, and if they are being cyberbullied, they should disengage whatever they are communicating with those strange people, or even their friends, or even anyone can be cyberbully you. So our children need that education, even adults, even our teens, they need that education, because sometimes they suffer from inside, and the next thing that you see, here we've got some cases of children who committed suicide because they couldn't tell anyone. And the next thing that they did was to kill themselves because they were afraid of going to school. So we don't want to reach to such an extent. So that is cyberbullying. Then we move on to cyber stalking. Cyber stalking happens each and every day of our lives, and it happens. And sometimes we do not even notice that someone is cyber stalking. And this is a very serious case. Sometimes you go on the internet and you find someone is always following you, sending you messages. Hello, how are you? Beautiful. How are you? Sometimes you do not even want to communicate. It is a very popular means by which the cyber stalk exploits the internet and the Windows operating systems in order to assume control over your computer that you are using. It means that the email account of the user may also be used as a tool for cyber stalking purposes. Someone can hijack your email and start using it for cyber stalking. So we have to be very careful that no one accesses our email accounts. And then online stalkers also may post some insulting messages on electronic bulletin boards, maybe using your own email address. So we have to make sure that our email addresses are safe. And then we do not have to publish personal information. Sometimes some people come so innocently, nowadays people post that, so there's this competition, you have won, you have to send this message to so many people. Then you type in your information. By doing so, someone can use your email account. So you should also, when you are doing any searches on the Google, do it on internet, search yourself. Don't give your details to someone, even to do something for you using your own email, because the next time that email of yours is used for cyber stalking. And then use privacy settings when you are using your email. And you should also make sure that each and every time you automatically install security updates, especially on your computer. And then also make sure that you use antivirus software. You can use the Norton. There are so many of them. You can download some of them. You can buy them. Be sure you should choose the safest one. And each and every time, make sure you also hide your IP address. Sometimes you'll find your computer telling you that someone is accessing your IP address. Make sure that you hide your IP address and set your passwords on devices and some apps. And sometimes you just need to reset your accounts. Cyber stalking is, I know that one time it happened to me. And sometimes when you go on Facebook, someone is sending you a message, you try to block him, they come with another account. So we should be very, very careful and make sure that our browsers, our computers, everything that we use is safe. So that is cyber stalking. So make sure that each and every website that you go to is safe, and you can tell what or how this website is safe, this one is not safe. So stalking may also comprise even a person appearing at a person's home or a place of business, making harassing phone calls, but this is cyber stalking. Then we move on to the next one. The next one is pornography. And said to share that mostly child pornography. The internet is being highly used as a medium to sexually abuse children and even adults. But mostly is the children are most vulnerable to child pornography. So the victims, sometimes they are not even aware. Our children, sometimes they are so innocent, and they entertain these people on social media. So computers and internet becoming a necessity of every household. Now our children are having access to the internet, and sometimes they just want to search something very safely, but sometimes you find that there are some people out there, us adults, who send some photos, who send our pictures naked to these children, even to our teens, even to us as well. So we have to be very, very careful. If someone does send something that you are not sure of, especially on Facebook, report there and then. Click the report button and you report, and then you say nudity or some sort, you do not want what has been sent. We have pedophiles there, outside there, who contact our children. Sometimes even when they are in the chat rooms, they pose as teenagers, or sometimes they pose as children of a similar age, and they start being friendly. At first, they start by being friendly with the children. Why? Because they want to win their confidence. And then they start now to start sexual chats with our children. And sometimes our children, some of our children, our teens, they get so addicted to it. And you do not even know that this is happening under your roof. So we have to be very, very careful, educate our children of the safe sites, educate our teens, ourselves as well. We must know which websites we have to go to, because the moment you go and click on that website that shows pornography, you know what Facebook does. It gives you maybe some adverts, something about the pornography, maybe those sites now. So we have to be very, very careful which websites we are using and whom we are talking to on the internet, because we have some people who are sick up there, who the pedophiles themselves will come and talk to our children. So we have to be very careful, especially with child pornography. It's very sad that our children are being exposed to things that are not of their age. Now we move on to what we call phishing. And what do we mean by phishing? It is an act of sending an email to a user falsely, claiming to be an established legitimate enterprise in an attempt to scam them, the user, into surrendering private information that will be used for identity theft. I think this happened to me some time ago. Some people were sending messages. I think it was after World Cup in South Africa. They were sending messages that you have won so much after the World Cup. And they were using some names of companies saying that this company is going to give you some money. I knew that it was a scam, and I had to follow through all the way, and they were saying now your money is ready, up to an extent now where they were saying that my money is ready. I had to send them money so that I could get the certificate of some sort. Then I knew that it was a scam. But why did I do this? Why did I follow them through? Because now after that, they were able to use my email. They were sending now so many emails to me from different sites. Now they were using my email address, sending messages. So we shouldn't fall to that. The email, sometimes it directs you to visit a website. And then sometimes you are asked to update all your information. Maybe they say, what is your name, your passwords, your credit cards, and bank account numbers to those illegitimate organizations. And you see that that website sometimes is bogus. They want to steal your identity and they use it for something else. So they spam large number of people, and sometimes they fish. With the person who is phishing will send the emails to different people in your organization, because now they have your details. So we have to be very careful with these scammers. They are after your passwords, they are after your bank details, so that they can use them. So we have to be very, very alert on using those ones. Then hacking. Some people are now hacking your website as well. They hack your website and they use it for something else. They can use it to go and order something somewhere. So we have to be very, very careful. We don't have to share our identity. We don't have to share our passwords, our bank details, our usernames, because these people, they come and hack your details. So what you need to do is you need to make sure that you are safe by using what we call double authentication. So sometimes to ask you a password and then they will ask you through an email. You have to do double authentication. And then we have to make sure we are sure where we click. Like I was saying, do not click those links that you don't know who is sending you. And then use secure mobile devices all the time so that no one can hack your website. And watch what you share also online, and don't just delete, destroy your hard drives, because some people can make use of those hard drives. So that is hacking. Then there's something that we call spoofing. Email, we call it email spoofing as well. So there's email spoofing, there's caller ID spoofing, there's text message spoofing, biometric spoofing, website spoofing. And email spoofing is an activity whereby in which the sender addresses and other parts of the email header, they are altered to appear as though the email originated from a different source. So email spoofing is sending an email to another person in such a way that it appears that the email was sent by someone else. That is why I was saying that we have to be careful with our email addresses. So email spoofing also, in this way, the hackers use this method to disguise the actual email address from which phishing and spam messages are sent. So they are linked to phishing. It is also linked to spamming. So we should be very careful, like I was saying, with our email address, our text messages. So what you need to do is that do not, sometimes you when you are in email, you get an email which says, can you please download, someone sent you this or someone in accident has happened, can you please click on, I think you know the person, can you please click on the link? This happened to me 2 weeks ago and I knew, because the moment you click on that link, they will use your details for something else. So let's not, we should not click on unfamiliar downloads. And when we are answering calls or emails from unrecognized senders, let's not reply sometimes. If you don't know who is sending you that message, they use your email address. And don't give out your personal information to unfamiliar sources. I think this is coming up each and every cybercrime, that you shouldn't share your details, especially your personal details, to anyone. And then we should try by all means to change our password. Sometimes you'll see that one person has got a password for the bank, for the credit card, password for the phone, password for the computer is one password. If something gets lost, then it means you're going to lose quite a lot. So we should use, sometimes we don't have to use the same passwords across multiple logins. So turn on your spam filter. I normally do this, and when you see that someone is something is a spam, I send it to spam, you move it to spam, and then if everything, if that person sends again, that email goes to spam straight away. And then also confirm information that is sent without the source that you know, and you set up your two-factor authentication. Like I said, the double authentication on your computers or on your phones. Then there's virus dissemination. This is a common type of cybercrime that takes place. And viruses are those programs that have the capability to infect other programs in your computer, in your phone, and they can make copies of it, millions or several of them, and they spread into other programs, infecting them. And the programs multiply like viruses, but they spread from computer to computer. And these programs are sometimes called worm attacks, which multiply like viruses. Then there are malicious software that attach themselves to other software. For example, the Trojan horse, the logic bomb, the rabbit, the bacterium, they are very, very malicious. And viruses normally usually affect the data on a computer. They also affect your phone. It can also freeze. It can alter information on your computer, or it can delete it. So we have to be very, very careful when we are using our computers, our gadgets, and make sure there is a firewall, and make sure you have an antivirus and anti-spyware on your gadgets, and the strong password as well, which you cannot buy, like the antivirus and the Norton, but a strong password that has got all the characters, and it should not be the same for all the gadgets. Then there is what we call also crypto jacking. And those who use Bitcoins and they've got blockchain accounts, sometimes they know what I'm talking about. Sometimes someone can hack into your blockchain account and change everything, and you lose your Bitcoins. I know that several years back, I was using Bitcoins, and someone hacked into my account. The moment someone hacks into your account, you lose all your Bitcoins. Luckily, I did not have so much, but I lost my Bitcoins that I had saved. So there's also crypto jacking. And the way you can safeguard yourself also is to use double authentication and a strong password for your blockchain account, whichever account where you saved your Bitcoins. Make sure that it has got a strong password, and you have also double authentication. You can use strong cybersecurity protection, use also anti-cryptojacking browser extensions that are there, and use ad blocker and disable JavaScript, secure your servers, and use software composition analysis, and you should block infected sites, and make sure that your security system is up to date. That is cryptojacking. It's a cyber crime that also takes place. Then we have what we call denial of service. Sometimes you want to pay for something, and then it refuses to pay. It denies you access. So denial of service happens. It's a denial of service attack, and this is an attack in which the criminal floods the bandwidth of the victim network, or fills his or her email box with spam mail, depriving him of the services he is entitled to access or provide. Those who have emails, I think you have seen that this also happens, whereby this the criminal fills your email box with spam mail so that you do not have access to what you want. This kind of attack is designed to bring the network to crash by flooding it with useless traffic on your email account. And then another variation to a typical denial of service attack is known as the distributed denial of service, which attack the attacker wherein the perpetrators are many and they are geographically widespread. Many denial of service attacks, such as the ping of death, you can Google that one, and the teardrop attacks exploit limitations in your IP protocols or TCP protocols. So we have to make sure that we protect ourselves so that we do not face the denial of service attack by using a VPN and protecting ourselves, protecting our IP addresses. We can hide our IP addresses, and we can also make use of strong passwords and update all our apps, and make sure that everything is in order. That's the denial of service. And then we have what we call cyber terrorism. And this happens also in our everyday lives, and sometimes we don't notice it. It happens to organizations or to governments. Cyber terrorism, and cyber terrorism affects us. The terrorist attacks are on the internet by distributed denial of service attacks, like what I was talking about, or hate websites or hate emails, or attacks on sensitive computer networks. Technological savvy terrorists are now using the 512-bit encryption, which is impossible. It is impossible to decrypt. So they are very clever. So we have to make sure that we safeguard ourselves against computer terrorism. And then we also have computer vandalism, whereby people damage or destroy data rather than stealing or misusing them. And this is what we call computer vandalism. So how does cyber terrorism affect us? For example, in air traffic control, they can affect the air traffic control towers or our airlines infrastructure. They could be hacked into. We have heard in the past of accidents that happened in different countries because they were able to hack the air traffic control towers. And then our banking systems, they could also be violated, and all our money could be wiped out because of cyber terrorism. Then the bombs and other explosives could be set off by remote, and they can just use the remote to set on those bombs and explosive, and we can lose lives. It has happened in so many countries. I can't talk about those countries, but we know that it happened in some countries. And then think of people who are in a hospital, and then cyber terrorism takes place, and it affects all the computers in our hospitals. We can end up losing lives. So we can also end up losing the hospitals, losing all the information for all the patients who are in hospitals. Then governments, you know that government places, they can also, they've got their information. The information can be lost because of cyber terrorism. Then they can tamper with our service systems everywhere. So we have to be very, very careful when we are using, especially for cyber terrorism to take place. Make sure that we safeguard ourselves each and every day. Then prevention and protection. We should be very cautious about opening emails, the emails that we have, so that we do not access some links that can destroy our lives and destroy all the information that we have. We must also make sure that we have complete software updates on all our gadgets that we use. And then also creating difficult passwords. I've been saying this through and through. We have to create difficult passwords so that no one can be able to access our gadgets, and making use of antivirus software, and uninstall unused application or services. And we have to be vigilant all the time. Suspicious emails, suspicious links that are sent to us, make sure that we do not open those links. So these are some of the cyber crimes that I thought I should share with you today. And on cyber security, we know that internet security, we need to have internet security. We need to have rules that we need to follow. We know that we have laws that we need to follow. Sometimes we just need to make sure that we are vigilant. And for us having cybersecurity, it has got so many advantages because it will defend us from critical attacks like cyber terrorism. The cybersecurity also helps us to make sure that we are on safe websites. When we are browsing the websites, it is safe. And internet security also, it defends us from hacks and viruses. And application of cybersecurity on our PCs, it needs to be done, updated every week. And then how do we save especially with our children at home? We need to make sure that we use parental control software. Whenever our children are using the gadgets, our children are very clever. You can think that maybe your child is on watching something very safe on the internet, not knowing that they've now opened another browser. So there are so many apps there that can be used, which can be used for parental control software. It is there and we can use it, and we have got those apps that we can use. And then the other thing that we need to do, especially with our children, to protect them from cybercrime, we make sure that the computer is placed in a place where there's highly trafficked area, where you can see, everyone can see how your child is using the gadgets that they have. I know that we love our children so much. We buy them expensive phones. Sometimes we need to have those parental control software. And until we have educated our children enough, we trust them that they go on safe websites. And then we should make sure that our children, they avoid downloading some things on the internet, and so that we safeguard them to going those links on the internet. And then So our children should avoid downloads which you are not sure of that they need to use them. And let's educate them that they do not have to accept a friend's requests, especially from those people whom they don't know. They should talk to people that they don't know if they are on the internet. They should talk to those people whom they know. And then they shouldn't share phone numbers. They shouldn't share their addresses, their contacts to strangers, especially online, because we don't know what their mission is. One time they are going to strike one way or another. And then sometimes we are told that you have won something. Just to tell them that it doesn't mean that if someone sends you something that you have won, that person is genuine. Some people are not genuine because they say you have won something, you enter your credentials, and the next thing, boom, your internet virus attacks, or they hack your website. Then we need to think twice. Like I was saying, as adults ourselves, before clicking on links or opening attachments. And every time we need to verify. We need to verify the people who are asking for information from us, and then protect our passwords by having strong passwords, keeping our devices, our browsers and apps up to date with security features. And sometimes when you've got a computer, you need a backup. You need to have a hard drive, because the moment you lose your computer, you're going to lose everything. So you need to back up those critical files that you have, especially work-related and something very important in your life. Make sure that you have got backup of those critical files. And let's delete sensitive information whenever it's not needed. For example, you want to send your child your credit card, and the number that is at the back of your card. The moment you share that information, please delete sensitive information, because you don't know who is going to hack into your phone or who is going to hack into your email account and get all that important information. And when you're using Google Drive, please also as well, make sure that you have safety features, because anyone can get all the information, all your photos, everything that you have saved on the Google Drive. So also, let's also ensure that our software is up to date. And sometimes we do not need to fall up for those pop-ups that come. They are very friendly pop-ups that sometimes they lure you to move on and talk to, continue chatting maybe with the person who is sending the pop-ups. And then we need to secure our internet network with this I've been saying, strong encryption password and a VPN is very, very important for us, so that we do not lose our information. And then we need to manage our social media settings. For example, when we are using Facebook, go on security settings. When you're sending something, you can make sure you manage everything there using your settings, be it WhatsApp. You only send information to intended people, not to everyone. We can change our settings, and let's manage our social media settings, because these are the ones that are very dangerous now. The Instagrams, the TikToks, anyone can hack them and make use of all your information on it. And also protect yourself from the identity threats. Sometimes people come to threaten you. Let's protect ourselves from those identity threats. You can report immediately, and then let's educate each other about internet risks, especially our children, because they are vulnerable to abuse. So thank you so much, International Internship University, for giving me this opportunity today to be sharing with you. I hope I have added some value. I hope we are all going to be safe. Digital safety is very, very important, because one way or another, we can lose everything in life. We can also lose our lives. So let's make sure that we are digitally safe. Thank you so much, IIU. Thank you so much, Ermina. Over, back to you, Ermina. Thank you.